Bienvenue! So, Softube got in touch and asked if I'd be interested in demonstrating their new software synthesizer, Model 84, which is inspired by the Juno 106 from 1984. And what really sold it to me was that not only did it sound really impressive in standalone mode, but that using their sister Modular plugin, you get all the modules of the Model 84. So you can then set up and duplicate as many modules as you want and reconfigure the patching until your heart's content. So someone who loves both a Juno and a modular synth, the idea of connecting those previously disconnected worlds was a very interesting one to me indeed. We'll do the modular stuff towards the end of the video, but first let's just fire it up and give it a quick test drive. So straight out of the box, it sounds really great. It sits in a mix, feels really alive, behaves how I would expect it to behave. Was very easy to set up the different kinds of sounds I wanted to make. And to demonstrate that further, what I've done is I've dusted off a crusty old MIDI controller that I've had lying around for about 20 years because it's got some encoders on it. And I've just mapped those encoders to various parameters on the Model 84. That's really easy to do. You just click on the MIDI icon in the top right of the plugin, select a parameter, send it a CC, then exit. And once you've mapped as many of those as you wish, you can save your maps and you can reload them later, of course. And you can obviously save and reload patches as well. So these demonstrations are just going to be 4 or 5 sounds that I've made just sitting behind the controller with the plugin in front of me. No effects, no processing or anything like that. This is just me noodling around and finding some sounds. So let's see what that sounds like. Okay, so we've heard it in a track, we've heard it on its own, and we've seen how easy it is to work with. And now we're going to get to the more complex stuff using Softube's sister plugin, Modular. When you have Model 84 installed, if you've got Modular as well, you get the modules from Model 84 as standalone modules, and you can then set up whatever kind of synth you want. So I've done a few experiments. I've made a bass line where I've got an oscillator, filter, amp, and the chorus, which is cool. You get the chorus as a module. And then I've set up 3 envelopes, one for the filter, one for the amp, as you'd expect, but also another one for pitch modulation, so you get this kind of bending bass line. And then I've also, in parallel, set up the Model 72 filter, amp, and an envelope, and I've sent the same bass oscillator to that, and then I've used CC control so I can bring that in at a certain point, so you've got like a stacked bass part, which would be impossible to do with the fixed architecture version of either of those synths. I've also made drums with it, and also some ring modulated kind of synth drum sounds as well, and then combined it with the standalone version as well. So let's listen to what that sounds like. Okay, so now a summary of my thoughts on this plugin. I've been using software synths for probably 20 years. I used to borrow synths or use them if they were in a studio I was at, but I didn't own any hardware synths because I didn't have the space or the money. That's all come more recently. And I also used to use sample libraries for the same reason. And it's been remarkable to watch the development of both of those areas, because I think early on the computer power and the RAM and the hard disk space and all that kind of stuff restricted what was possible. So it was really just a case of trying to make something work in a more or less fundamental way. And as such, they were a bit clunky, they sounded a bit two-dimensional, you had to kind of work around the shortcomings, but they were a means to an end. But now, with the advanced computer processing power and RAM and hard disk space, and the more advanced development tools that these people are using, they've really taken it all to a new level. So for example, sample libraries, you can now create a convincing sounding orchestra on a laptop. That's here now. And that's also the case with soft synths. They're getting really impressive. The level of detail they're going into in circuit component modeling is really, really advanced. And the proof is in the pudding. When you play them, they do sound really alive. They don't sound like those plugins that I used to use a long time ago, which is a lot of fun. Now, I get asked to demonstrate quite a few products, and I won't demonstrate them if either I don't think they're up to the job or if I don't gel with them, which is a different question to whether they're good enough. But this is one I'm very happy to put my name to. I really don't think you'll be disappointed if you try this out. I mean, obviously be cynical of what I'm saying. In fact, I implore you to be cynical of what I'm saying and try it out for yourself and see what you think. But with just a MIDI controller, a computer, a DAW, and the plugin, you can be away and have all those sounds that are probably not achievable to many of you because you can't afford the hardware or don't have the space for the hardware like I didn't for many, many years. So hats off to Softube, and thank you to them for involving me with this project, and thank you for watching.